What if I told you that I could create a week's worth of content in just 30 minutes? Yeah, 30 minutes. Most creators spend days to create content, but I like to use AI tools to help me. And so by the end of this video, you're going to hear about my top 5 AI tools that I use to help me create a week's worth of content in just 30 minutes. One of the reasons why I feel like people don't create content is because it can be a lot, right? You know, you've got to come up with the ideas, you've got to film them, you've got to edit them, and they could just really feel like a lot, because the truth is it is a lot if you don't have a system and if you're not using AI to be able to do it. And so because before all this AI stuff came out, I was overwhelmed with content creation. I remember one time I was like posting like 10 TikTok videos a day. And granted, I grew my account really fast, which is awesome, right? But what ended up happening was I found myself being burned out and I wasn't being as effective with my online business because I was so focused on just creating content. And that's why I decided to start investigating AI and seeing what is it that is out there that I can utilize to help me to be able to create content easier, create it faster, and still make it effective for my online business. So I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips. The final one is probably, I think, the best one. The number one is the one that we all are familiar with, but the last one is the big one. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first one I like to use is ChatGPT and Claude. And Claude is spelled Claude. And I like to give Claude and ChatGPT all the things about me. I like to give it my emails, past content ideas. I like to feed the beast everything, because the more that it knows about me and how I think and what I do and my audience, then the better it can help me. And I like to use it for content ideas. Okay. Now, not just any kind of content ideas. I like for it to give me, like, when I'm launching a particular product, I'll tell it all about the product. I'll tell it all about the audience, how I'm serving them, what I'm going to be selling them. And then I'll say, give me 100 potential written ideas of what I can say in LinkedIn or in a Facebook post, and give me really good hooks, right? Hooks that are visual, that are text-based, and that are short, and they're catching my audience's attention. Give them a little bit of FOMO, all this type of stuff. And then I say, give me the bullet points and give me the best CTA without saying link in bio. Oh my God, the ideas that I have received from ChatGPT and Claude, next level. Some of this stuff I couldn't have come up with it myself. I'm good at what I'm good at, but AI is even better. And so I like to use it to give me all those ideas. I also like to go, like this recently, I was like, I really want to focus more on being a thought leader on LinkedIn. And I was like, let me talk to Claude and ChatGPT and more about me so that I can do more written posts. Listen, the amount of time that I spent with that tool, I said, ask me everything you need to know. They probably asked me like 60 questions, like a lot. Okay. And then when I gave it all the answers, it gave me so many different posts that I could just, for the most part, some of them I could just copy and paste because it was me. It wasn't like AI was making up something. It was taking all of what I say and what I believe and what I do and how I speak online and turning it into more long form posts. Okay. And it has really, really, really simplified my content creation process. Instead of it taking me hours and days to do all this, it's not taking as much time anymore because I've got this tool that knows me, right? And I can just feed it and they can give me the more. Don't get me wrong. I don't use everything word for word, by no means. Okay. Like I write my own captions and all that. But when it comes to strategic ideas, sometimes you've got this tool that is just amazing. Why not use the tool? The second AI tool I like to use is Canva, and Canva has AI design. All right. Now, the same thing that goes with Canva, like with ChatGPT and all that. Once you get in there and you start really telling Canva who you are, who your audience is, what you want to create content around, then guess what happens? It starts to create things for you that you couldn't have done yourself. Right? So I have a social media manager, and oftentimes we're looking for them to come up with content ideas and strategies for the things that we create, like videos and carousels and all that. But we can log into Canva and we can tell Canva who we are, what we're trying to do, and all this type of stuff. And then Canva is going to come up with all of these amazing designs on our behalf. We get to take what we've got from ChatGPT and Claude and plug it into Canva AI design. And then guess what? It's going to help us significantly with our content creation process. The third AI tool is Loom plus AI. Okay. Now, how do we do that? So one of the things that you're able to do with Loom is you're able to go in and you can film a long form piece of content. You can do whether it's a 5-minute video, 10-minute video, or a 1-hour video, or what have you for YouTube or whatever. Okay. And then you can utilize its AI tool where it's going to chop up that content that you just filmed in there for YouTube, and it's going to turn it into a bunch of different clips. Okay. So there's a lot of different software that actually does that. There's Loom, there's Opus. We've used Opus a lot as well. And so these are just these really good tools because you're already going to be filming content. So why not just film one long piece of content? Okay. Plug it into a tool, Lumen AI or Opus, and let it chop it up for you. Also, what it does for us is it puts the captions on screen. So I have a podcast and it's called the You, Me, and Jesus podcast. And I have been filming my long form content, plugging it into Opus. And then guess what? Not only can it chop it up and it can put the captions on screen beautifully, but I can also schedule it right there in the tool. Right there in the tool. And what's ended up happening is that it's growing that YouTube channel because I'm just taking that one piece of content and letting it do what it's doing. The fourth one is Buffer or Hootsuite AI, because you not only these are great tools for you to be able to utilize when it comes to scheduling your social media content, but now you can use their AI tool and it will tell you, here's the most optimal time to post your content. Killer. Here's the most optimal time to post your content. Because listen, as people who create content online, we want to make sure that it's going out in the right time. And so sometimes we think we know that it's going out at the right time, but why not be able to utilize what you know and also what AI knows? And you can test it. You can beta test it to see is what you think is going to be best or is what they say best, right? And then again, it allows for systems. It allows for your brain, your social media team's brain, but it allows for this tool to do the brain, a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And you may actually find out that it's better than what you think. And then the fifth one and the final one is Jasper and Copy.ai. Why do we use that? Because listen, it can generate 50 different captions for Instagram or any social media platform in just 5 minutes. 50 Instagram captions. I don't know about you, but when I'm writing captions, it takes a long time, right? When my social media manager is trying to write captions, it takes a long time. Why not use a tool like Jasper and Copy.ai to assist you? I'm not saying don't change it and just post it. No, but if it can write all of that for you without you, and then now all you're doing is revising it, clutch. Think about it. My social media manager can do a week's worth of content in probably 2 hours, right? In 2 hours, because if we have a long list of content to create, I can film that and then give it to them, or I can shoot a long form piece of content, plug it into Loom AI, and guess what's going to chop it up, or Opus and all that type of stuff. It's really going to simplify your process from being hours and hours and hours down to 30 minutes. Okay. Now, I know I talked a lot about a lot of tools, and I'm not telling you to go and use every single tool that I mentioned today. But what I'm saying is that if you want to become a better content creator, if you want to be focusing on your business and not so much always content creation, then one of the things you got to do is you got to incorporate some AI. Okay. If you were going to only choose 2 of the tools that I mentioned here today, I would go for ChatGPT and Claude as your content creation ideas, right? And then I would go for Jasper and Copy.ai. That way it can actually write amazing captions for you, right? Because Copy.ai, that's what it does. It writes copy, okay? And so if ChatGPT and Claude gives you the ideas, Jasper and Copy.ai give you the captions. Now all you got to do is film, somebody can edit, and done. Okay. So if you're someone and you've been saying to yourself, this is helpful, I need more assistance, listen, I would love to work with you. I do one-on-one consultant, and we also have a community that's called Invisible to Influential. And this is where I'm coaching a community of people every single day, every day. We have a call every single week, and then I coach them every single day on the inside of this community, and it's only $97 a month. Okay. So it's like having me in your back pocket every single day. So instead of you paying the one-on-one fee, you can come and join this community for just $97 a month. Okay. You can go to the link in the description. It is invisible to influential.net, and I will see you on the next one.